Today the chapter before you is some basic concept of chemistry presented by Ultimate Education Center. We see the word chemistry, then we find that chem is regarding the chemicals, right? And the study of the chemicals, the behavior of the chemicals, interactions, etc. of the chemical, it is called chemistry. So chemistry deals with the composition, structure, properties, and interaction of matter and is of much use to human being in daily life. In our daily life, the chemistry plays a very important role, which we will see. These aspects can be best described and understood in terms of basic constituents of the matter, that is, atoms and molecules. Every matter. So, what is the matter? In the following slides, you will come across what is the matter. So, if we see the importance of the chemistry, the principle of chemistry are applicable in diverse areas. In many areas, chemistry is applied, such as weather patterns, functioning of brain, and operation of a computer, production in chemical industries, then manufacturing fertilizers, then alkalis, then acids, salts, dyes, polymers, drugs, soaps, detergent, metals, alloys, etc., including new materials. So in this way, you have find, right, the how many field it covers. Chemistry provides methods for the isolation of life-saving drugs also, right? With the help of the chemistry, now it's very easy to manufacture to produce the life-saving drugs, which are very important for the human being from the natural sources and makes possible synthesis of such drugs. Some of these drugs, for the example, we can say that is cisplatin and Taxol, which are very effective in cancer therapy. The drug, which is shortly named AZT, the full form of AZT is azidothymidine, which is used for helping AIDS patients. Earlier, it was very impossible and it was not found, so that the AIDS patient they did not get any type of medicines to cure the AIDS. Now it is easy with the help of the chemistry. With the chemical principle, it has now become possible to design and synthesize new material having specific magnetic, electric, and optical properties such as the production of superconducting ceramics, conducting polymers, optical fibers, etc. These optical fibers are used for the internet purpose and for various purposes. Before you is nature of matter. Now, one thing question arises to our minds: what is the matter after all? The matter is that thing which has got the mass and occupies space is called matter. What is the mass? That is some type of weight. It has got a weight, a certain type of volume, right? And it occupies the space is called matter. And every matter is made up of small particles which have either space or no space in between them. So if we see another thing, that what are the states of the matter, how many type of matters are available, how many type of matter we see around us. The matter can exist in three physical state: visible, like solid, liquid, and gas. These are the three fundamental physical states of the matter in which the matter is present around us in the world. First one, solid. So what are the solid? Solid, they have got the definite volume and definite shape, and they have got no space in between the particle. So what are the solids? If you look around you, right, then you will find the table, chair, glasses, water, the laptops, or the pencil, the pen, all these are called the solids, and they have got a certain type of volume and a definite shape, right? If you look at the pen in your hand, then you will find it has got a certain shape, right? And that shape cannot be changed. If you press it, then it will not change, right? It can break, but the shape cannot be changed. Another one, liquid. Liquid, we are all very much familiar with the water and the milk, right? Liquids, all type of liquids, whether it is oil, petrol, like kerosene, all these are in the shape of the liquid, and liquid have got the definite volume, but they do not have any definite shape. whatever the utensil you are having, whatever the utensil you are having, if you pour the liquid in that, it will take the shape of the container in which they are placed. So we can say that why it is so, because they the space in between the particles are there, and they have no definite shape. The gases are very much around us. All the gases, oxygen, nitrogen, these all type of gases we are having. So gases have neither definite volume nor definite shape. They completely occupy the space in the container in which they are placed. If you place it in a jar, it will occupy the shape of the jar. If you place it in some we are having our cylinders, right, then it will occupy the shape of the cylinder. Why? Because the particles, they have the large space in between them. So these three states of matter, that is solid, liquid and gases, they are interconvertible. Means what? The solid can be changed into liquid, the liquid can be changed into solid, the liquid can be changed into gas, the gas can be changed into liquid, and the gas can be changed into solid, or solid can be changed into gas. This is called inconvertible. The chart at the below right, you will find that when solid on fusion, right, the on fusion means what? If it is heated, solid is heated, then it converts into liquid, and the liquid, when it is cooled down, that is called solidification. So liquid on cooling turns into solid. The common example you are having, that water, right? When water is put into fridge, then it cools down and it turns into ice. Ice is solid. And the solid, like metal, like iron, if you heat it, then iron will melt down. Gold, silver, all type of solid metals, if you heat them, then it turns into liquid, right? Another thing, when the ice cubes are put outside the fridge, then it turns into liquid again. The liquid, when it is heated, then it vaporizes into gases. Daily, this phenomena is going on around the world, from lake, river, ocean, etc. The vaporization is continuously going on. When the sunlight falls on the liquid, falls on the water, then the water vapor comes out and it turns into gases. Again, the gases, when they are cooled down, if it is collected and they cool down, then it again turns into liquid, and that is called condensation. The gas, the solid can be turned into gas on sublimation directly, like some of the camphor. The camphor is solid, but if you put it into the atmosphere, open atmosphere, then the camphor will sublimate into gas and it will vanish away. The gases on sublimation, again, they again can be turned into solid. So in this way, we find that all the three states are interconvertible. Is classification of matter. So the matter is classified into two main categories. First one is mixture and the second one is pure substance. The mixture, if we see what is the mixture, mixture contains particles of two or more pure substances which may be present in it in any ratio. Any ratio means in a certain type of ratio they mix together to give rise to mixture. Like very commonly, we are having sugar solution in water. If we add the sugar in water, right, and you stir it, then the sugar will completely, absolutely, it will dissolve into water and it will give you solution. That is a mixture. Then air is having the different type of gases. That's why it is called mixture, because oxygen is present in the air, carbon dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, every other type of gases are also present in the air. That's why it is called mixture. Then tea, if we see tea, so tea contains water, milk and the tea leaves, right? So in this way, these are called the mixtures. All the mixtures are of two types. First one is homogeneous mixture and another one is heterogeneous mixture. The chart is just shown to you it is before you. Homogeneous mixtures are those mixtures, right, in which the components completely mix with each other. That means they completely dissolve, right? The solvent and the solute, they completely dissolve each another and they mix up with each other, like sugar solution in water. If as we had stirred up the sugar, right, it completely dissolves into the water. Now you cannot see differently where is the sugar particles and where are the water particles, because they are completely dissolved in themselves. They are called homogeneous mixture, right? So another one, in heterogeneous mixture, the composition is not uniform throughout this, and sometimes different components are also visible. Like you see, if we mix chalk powder and sugar particles, then you will differentiate in between them. If we mix tea leaves, right, tea leaves along with the iron scrap, then no doubt they will mix up, the mixture will be there, but you can distinctly see the scrap, iron scrap, and the tea particles, right? So they are called heterogeneous mixture. Heterogeneous mixtures further, they can be divided into colloids and suspensions, which you had already learned in your earlier standard, right? What are the colloids and what are the suspension? The component of a mixture can be separated by using many methods, physical methods such as hand picking, then filtration, crystallization, distillation, etc. The pure substances. What are the pure substances? The pure substances have characteristics different from that of mixtures. Their characteristics are totally different from the mixtures. The constraint of the particles of the pure substances, they have fixed composition. Examples we are having copper, silver, gold, water, and glucose are some examples of pure substances, wherein the copper, silver, gold, they are the elements which we call elements. Then we are having water and glucose, which we call compounds, but they are pure substances. Why it is so? Because if we look at the composition of the oxygen, nitrogen, then we are having hydrogen, then carbon, then we'll find, you must have seen in your earlier study that oxygen, the formula of the oxygen is O2. That means the two atoms of the oxygen, they get together to give us oxygen gas. Then hydrogen, the two molecules of two atoms of hydrogen, they get together to give rise to H2. And nitrogen has got the symbol of N2, means two nitrogen atoms get together to give us nitrogen gas. Then carbon, it's having C, right? The symbol of carbon is C, it is a single atom. So in this way, what we find that they have got a fixed composition, right? If we say that O3, three atoms of the oxygen, they get together to give us oxygen gas, then it is no, it's not possible, because the oxygen gas has got a specific formula, that is O2, in which only two atoms get together. So in that way the fixed composition is there. Further, pure substances can further be classified into elements and compounds, as I said, like copper, silver, gold, iron, sodium, potassium. All these are the elements, and the compounds, I had just given the example of compounds. The particles of an element consist of only one type of atoms. These particles may exist as atoms or molecules. Sodium, copper, silver, hydrogen, oxygen, etc. are same, some example of elements. They contain atoms as their constituent particles. Whereas in some other, the constituent particles are found in molecules and they are called molecules. Why it is so? We will see, which are formed by the two or more atoms. For example, as I given you hydrogen gas, nitrogen gas, oxygen gas, right? And if we see, they contain the same atoms, not the different atoms, same atoms of the element, they get together to give us one molecule of that particular compound. Another thing, in a compound, two or more atoms of different elements may also combine together in a definite ratio. Definite ratio means they have got a definite ratio without which it cannot be said the particular compound. To give a molecule of a compound, just like water, right? Water has got, you see the diagrams are given to you, like water. In water, if we see, we have got two atoms of hydrogen, they are attached to one atom of oxygen to give rise to one molecule of water. Nitrogen oxides, it's a compound in which one atom of nitrogen and one atom of oxygen, they get together to give us nitrogen oxide. Likewise, nitrogen dioxide, it's also a gas, right, in which one molecule, one atom of nitrogen and two atom of oxygen, they get together to give rise to one molecule of nitrogen dioxide. Then carbon dioxide, the formula is CO2, right, in which two atoms of oxygen and one atom of carbon, they attach together to give us carbon dioxide. Now why it is so? That is fixed ratio. Here definite ratio is there. If we say that three atoms of hydrogen, they get together with one atom of oxygen and it gives us water, then it is wrong. It cannot be possible. It will give us another compound, that is not water. The same way, if we say CO3, in which three atoms of oxygen, they get attached with the one atom of carbon and it gives us carbon dioxide, then it is totally wrong. It cannot be possible, because carbon dioxide has got a fixed and definite ratio in which only two atoms of oxygen can attach with carbon and gives us carbon dioxide. If we say CO3, then it will be some another compound that we will discuss, that is called carbonate, right? So here it is very much clear. Now pure substances, I think the concept is very clear in your mind.